Bennett, with no problem at all. And Diane Bennett herself said that, what was it, that Glendora is the guru of public access.
Well, that's for sure.
And then when Pat Galino went to a wedding, he told me,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a long way away. And people asked him, well, what do you do? He says, I work for Cablevision. Oh, well, what do you do? And he says, public access. And they said, the woman with the hat!
Oh, that's great. Well, that's another thing I wanted to ask you. I mean, it seems like everybody knows you. You've been on so long, and you know, people, you can say Glendora and they know who you are. So I wanted to know, I mean, have you gotten any, you know, interesting fan letters or mail or...
Oh, yeah. Not today, people don't write letters.
No,
They
no.
call.
They call, they call, okay. Well,
I
it's
got one.
more convenient. It's quicker.
I have one man who keeps calling me, and he says, if you don't get an Emmy pretty soon, I'm going to get mad. And he has said that 5 times on 5 different telephone calls. Now he stopped saying that, and he just calls up and he says, it's the best show on television. He's funny. I played those for the people.
That's great.
But wait, that was the good side. Will it grow?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because, as I said, I was back in 1993. I was very few public access programs when I started out in Long Island. Now they cablecast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
That's
So
right.
Andrew is right; it has grown.
It's growing, and you know, I mean, I hope there will be more channels added in the future. And
Well, they should have done that long.
yeah, because the demand is growing. The technology, everyone's got a camcorder nowadays, right? So anybody can do it. And you know, everybody deserves a say, and there's free speech in this country, and they deserve to have it heard on television. So
Absolutely.
that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah. The Cable Policy Act of 1984 said clearly that public access is an electronic soapbox. We are a forum, a designated forum and a traditional forum, designated by the law that I just quoted, which was codified as Title 47 U.S. Code, Section 521 et sec. And we are a traditional forum because we've been doing it since 1970 or even earlier. So we've got them. But they don't care about that, these cable operators, whom we let them string their cables down our public ways.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about that. They want that channel for advertising. They want it for promotion. That's all they care about is money.
Right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Now then, the downside is that what you said, I was at the Alliance for Community Media, the Northeast Region meeting in Brooklyn in March of the year 2003. That's right. And Bunny, who was down there, one of the lobbyists, said if they just change 1 or 2 words in that law, we'd be out.
Wow. Amazing. That's scary. That's really, you know. Well, what can people do to protect public access? What can the average person do if they want to make sure it's still going to be around a year or a decade from now? What's the best thing to do?
Well, I think the best thing to do, if you hear about any public access legislation going on in Congress, the best thing to do is to write your congressman and your senator and your representative. And of course, don't forget Pataki. I understand that the public access rules are being changed by the Public Service Commission, and they're not telling anybody.
Of course, because if people knew, they would protest. You
Well,
know.
they have to have a public hearing.
Well, yeah.
But that's like the Beverly Hills Police Department having an unlisted number.
Yeah. It's a good analogy. True.
So
That's
I think
true.
that's what you can best do. And I think you can support us, the little hard workers. You know, you think we get paid? We do not. In fact, we're not allowed to get paid.
That's right.
And
That's
all
right.
of the time that we put in, and I know a chat with Glendora easily takes 40 hours a week.
Oh, yeah.
Easily. All the time that we put in, all the mileage, all the postage, all the tapes that we have to buy. No, it all comes out of our little
That's right.
Like the woman, I'm going to tell about the woman, she was asked, why do you always take your paycheck to the bank? And she says, it's too little to go by itself. And no, that's what we have.
That's right.
Take it out of our little bit of money. What, we believe in it, don't we, Andrew?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the most important things, you know, as far as free speech is concerned.
Yes.
I mean, in the old days, people used to stand on soapboxes and talk.
Well, this is it.
You know, and this is the modern version of that.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, you know, that's why it's so important.
And Andrew, broadcast television, they are our airwaves. And broadcast television took them away from us.
Right.
And made billions.
Yep.
Selling commercials.
Yep.
And never gave us a chance to be on broadcast.
That's right.
So that's why you got to give Congress credit. When they saw cable TV with its ability for multiple channels, they said you've got to have a channel for public education and another third channel for
right.
them. So you got to give Congress credit.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's really amazing, and like I said, your show's 4,000 episode.
4,000.
4,000.
Yeah, well today it's 3,950, but we're
Right.
getting ready for
We're getting ready for the big 4,000, and you know, do you see you ever giving up on the show at all, or are you just going to keep doing it?
Isn't it funny? I never have time to think about that. No, it's never occurred to me. It never occurred to me.
So I guess we could look forward to seeing a lot more shows, huh?
I just videotape anything that moves.
There you go.
No, it never occurred to me, Andrew.
But it's a good show. People should watch it. It's definitely different. It's alternative television. It's you know, it's wholesome. Any family member could watch it. It's not explosions and shootings. It's
No.
you know, and that's the one thing, you know, I think television has become, you know, I mean, they always call it the idiot box, but it's getting worse, you know.
It is.
And it's nice to have shows like yours that, you know, it educates people about government, about the law, about, you know, lawyers,
yeah.
about what's going on.
Thank you. And about the courts.
About the courts and those type of things. They're not even in the newspapers that often. You know, you don't read about this stuff.
Well, as you said, Andrew, the media is controlled by the agglomerates.
That's right.
Or
that's right.
conglomerates, what's that word?
Conglomerates, yeah. But no, that's exactly right. I mean, they don't want all this out in the
people upset.
exactly.
They want them scared. They want to scare them to death.
That's right. So that's another reason why public access is so important, because we can give out information that normally wouldn't be out there.
That's right.
And no one else is going to do it.
Yeah.
No, these big companies, they just want to get your money. They want to sell advertising. They don't care about what's really going on, what the real
And
news is going on. So
and they don't want you to think
that's right. You just sit there like a vegetable and watch TV
and take it, yeah.
and buy whatever the sponsor tells you to buy. So
That's right.
So
and believe the untruths that they put on the news.
that's exactly it. So, you know, that's, again, it's, you know, if you don't understand why public access is valuable and why it should stay around, you know, give it a try. Watch it sometime and you'll find out.
Well, I don't think there's any problem. There's a number of telephone calls I get, and I go out on the street and they say, aren't you the woman who was talking about Judge Dixon? On the yeah.
See?
And we just erased a clip. A woman said, you said on TV that if I go down the street and I don't have my seatbelt on and a cop stops me, that the state doesn't have any case against me because there's no injured body. That's true, Andrew. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
by the common law,
Mm-hmm.
it's called a corpus delicti, an injured body.
Mm-hmm.
By the common law, the plaintiff has to present an injured body. Well, you went down the street without your seatbelt on, but you didn't injure anybody.
That's right.
So the case,
It should get thrown out then.
yeah,
So that whole law is
Well, it does, you know.
invalid.
I know of a case where a person went to court and he knew that, and the judges, of course, know it, but they don't let you know that they know.
Uh-huh.
And so he called him up to the bench,
Uh-huh.
and the person explained just what I said to you,
Right.
and the judge said in a very low voice, "Get out of here.
See that?
They don't want it to spread." Right chat with Glendora spreads it.
See, our freedoms are getting taken away, and it's all because we don't know. It's about knowledge, isn't it?
Oh, you bet.
It's all about knowledge.
I never get tired of talking about the Federal Reserve Bank and what they've done to us. Okay.
Well, I want to thank you so much for, just talking with us and sharing your views and your past history of public access. Amazing stuff. You really do. I'll tell you something. You do deserve an Emmy, because I don't think anyone else has been doing public access this long, this faithfully, and on this big of a scale. I mean, you're on how many? 45 different cable stations?
Yeah, 45.
45, and the internet. So.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, but that's,
This is the man I have to thank for the internet. Not only did he give me this computer and set it up for me and is going to teach me how to run it, but he gave me the internet.
So it's growing, and again, you do an enormous amount of work, to get this show on the air, and you've done it for so long,
Yeah.
and it's just it's something to be proud of. It really is.
Well, your words mean so much to me, Andrew.
Well, I wish you many, many more shows.
And I can't, I want you to know my appreciation and my gratitude.
Well, I know you do. I know, I appreciate what you do, because I've been working in television now for a long time, and I understand.
Tell us. Tell the folks
Yeah,
how long.
well, 20 years now in professional TV.
You started working for...
Well, actually, my first job was at Cablevision, and
Yes.
for Channel 14, which was the program guide channel.
and you worked on that.
I worked on that for a few years, and they taught me pretty much everything I needed to know to move on. And then I moved on to Rainbow and did, the program origination for American Movie Classics and Bravo.
What's that mean, Andrew, the program?
Well, I was the one that played back the tapes on the air.
Wow.
So, I'd stay up all night, an overnight shift, and play the movies back for people all over the country,
Isn't that great? And where was that located?
That was in Floral Park in Long Island.
Oh.
And so I did that for a few years, and then when News 12 started, I got a job with them, helped get them on the air.
Oh, hot.
And worked for them.
What year was that?
That was, let's see, when was that? 87 or 89? I can't remember now.
Well, that's close enough.
Yeah, that was the first time they went on the air. Gee, I have it all written down on my resume, but that was exciting, because it was live newscast, and I learned, more things about television that way. And from there, since I knew about news, I got to work for CNN. I got to work for CBS.
Did work for CNN?
So.
Why don't you sit here? You sit here, and I'll interview you.
Okay.
And you worked for CNN?
CNN, yes. Let's see. CNN, yeah, I started working freelance first of all with them, and I did their electronic graphics.
You did?
Yeah, for most of their stock market reports and things.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's real big time.
Sure. And then and then I would just, wherever I got work in Manhattan, I would work for them.
Where'd you go after CNN?
Well, then it was a lot of different channels. I worked a little bit for HBO. I worked for a channel called the Talk Channel, which doesn't exist anymore.
What was the Talk Channel about?
It was sort of like, how the talk shows are on daytime television.
Oh, so it was
They had a
Talk
whole
Channel 24 hours.
24 hours, right. So that didn't last too long, but it was interesting to do, What other channel? I worked for Madison Square Garden Network.
What was doing what?
I did more graphics for them. A show they had, it's still on, Sports Desk, which was, they show the scores and all that, what happened during the day.
And you did graphics for that?
Graphics for that,
My goodness, deep into television and deep into cable television.
Oh yeah, well cable really opened the door for me. I mean, I don't think I would have had a TV career if it wasn't for cable. The fact that they added so many new channels and gave people the opportunity to, get
That's
jobs.
the very thing that Charles Dolan said on that interview about young people getting into cable.
Absolutely.
And you are the paragon of that.
That's right. So, the only time I really worked for a broadcast station, I did get, I worked at CBS for a year.
You did?
Yeah. And
on
that was
57th Street?
Yeah, West 57th, right in the broadcast center there. I did a lot of stuff. I did some graphics for the NFL Today, that show.
Wow.
And then when the first Gulf War started, they asked me to stay and help them with that. So I did the graphics for a lot of the newscasts that they were doing on the overnights.
They asked you to stay?
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I got to work with Dan Rather, and
Yeah.
so that was exciting.
Yes.
And so after that, what else did I do? Well, let's see. When Court TV first went on the air, I got a job with them. And I didn't think it would last long. I thought, gee, I was going to watch trials all day, right? So I figured out, a few months, I'll be moving on. But I've been there now almost over 13 years.
My goodness.
Over 13
And
years.
you're head of all of their audio.
Audio, video, everything. I'm their technical director. So.
Oh, you're the you're
Yeah.
head of all the technical
all
things.
the technical aspect of it.
Oh, really?
So.
I thought it was just the audio.
No, I do everything.
Oh, gee, Andrew, that's
so if
great.
anything is, not 100% at
It's your
Court
fault.
TV, it's you can blame it on me.
And now you're doing a big trial that everybody's interested in.
Yeah, it's the Lacey Peterson trial, which even though they're not allowed to have cameras in that particular courthouse, we're reporting from outside, and people are, hanging on every word we say because they're very interested in this trial. They want to know everything that happens in there.
Andrew, that's not right. These are the people's courts.
Well, absolutely,
And
I
the
agree with you.
people should have a camera in there.
Absolutely. That should
That's
be
not
mandatory.
right, and that's got to stop. Is that a federal court?
No, it's a state court. It's the state of California. And every state has its own laws concerning
Yeah.
cameras in the courts.
Oh, yes, they
like
do.
New York State right now doesn't allow it.
Well, they're going to get over that soon, let me tell you.
Some states, like for example, Florida, they love the cameras. They want 3-4 cameras in the court. They want everything. They let us show the jury. They do, it's unbelievable. Some states are very particular on what you
Yeah.
can show.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to show the gallery, or you're not allowed to show the jury.
What an interesting job you have.
It's very interesting. I've learned so much about law and the judicial system.
Yeah, you're supposed to learn
I've
about
seen,
TV.
Yeah, I've seen over 600 different trials. So
Really?
up until now, and so that's more than some lawyers have seen. So
That's right. And some judges. And
Yes.
Andrew, do you go there? Do you go to the site?
no, I don't do that. That's one thing I don't do. We have remote trucks that go there.
I see. And so you're in the send-off point.
Exactly. I'm in the big giant control room where everything comes
it
together and put out all over the country.
It must be big, the giant control room.
Well, it's not as big as you might think, but it's pretty powerful when you think you can reach over 95 million subscribers. It's a lot of money, a lot of people, and a lot of households, and a lot of potential viewers. So
Yeah, that's an interesting figure, 95 million.
yeah, I mean, at any given time, I think it's a little less than 1 million people watch, but it's still good because anybody who gets a chance to see our judicial system at work and see how it operates. I mean, a lot of people don't have time to walk down to the courtroom and sit there all day and watch it. So we give them an opportunity to watch it in their own homes.
Absolutely.
And see exactly what it's all about.
Absolutely.
And it's a public courthouse, and we all deserve to know what's going on there.
Oh, yeah, we got to
And
change that, all right.
Absolutely.
I don't know how they got away with it.
Yeah.
But we go after that.
Absolutely. But, I've started my own cable TV show, thanks to you, actually.
No, really? Thanks to me?
Oh, yeah. Well, you inspired me because I didn't really think much about public access at first. I didn't know much about it. And the fact that the technology now has gotten to the point where the camcorders are so small and you can edit on your computer and you can...
Yeah, he edits on his computer on the train going to work.
Yeah.
Commuting from Long Island to Manhattan.
Yeah, I have a little laptop and I, edit on
Well,
there.
how did a chat with Glendora inspire you to...
Well, I remember seeing you, it must have been over 10 years ago, first time I saw you.
1993.
Right.
Oh, it would be over 10, yeah.
And, I was turning the channels and I went, wait a minute, this is completely something different. I've never seen this before. And it caught my eye and I couldn't turn it off. And I've been a loyal viewer ever since.
Yeah, you have.
And I tell you, it really, gave me some inspiration because I thought, if this is what TV should be about. It should be the average person telling their minds what they think, what their opinions are.
Yes.
And we all have opinions. We're all entitled to opinions, we all have free speech in this country, and it was fought for, and we should take advantage of it and not just let it go to the wayside. So we should all
Keep
take
it alive,
advantage
yeah.
of this. Absolutely.
I've always thought it was Gulata and James Pickens
Mm-hmm.
who went to Dolan and said, get this dame off the TV. Because, you know, I was complaining that he wasn't protecting the consumers of Long Island because he was letting Scott Lord operate an underground lawn sprinkler
That's
business
right.
without a license
Yep.
from the Consumer Affairs Department.
All all these issues need to be brought up.
Yeah.
And you know, if you read, you know, like I love reading the letters to the editor in the
Yeah.
Newspaper.
Yes.
Because people aren't that stupid. You know,
No, they aren't. No.
People really know what's going on, and they need to be heard, and they need to, you know, they really need to.
Absolutely.
So, and you know, it's a shame that most Americans don't even bother reading the newspaper. Most people just turn on the TV and get their news that way.
All biased.
Yes. So
All
public
down the
access, you know, it's very important because people can really get an idea of what's really happening, what's on the average person's mind, what concerns the average citizen. Now, you know, not what the news tries to make. You know,
Absolutely.
the news sensationalizes a lot of things that aren't important, and you know the things that really are important to the average person. You know, most people don't know about it. No one takes an issue.
That's right.
So
That's right.
you know, that's again, it's such an important thing to have people's views out in the open, and so people can discuss them and try to figure out what's right, what's wrong, what should be changed.
Yes.
And you
That's
know,
what we are.
exactly. So
A call that I got a couple of days ago, a girl, I would figure she would be a girl between 18 and 22, and she said, I have to go to Quinnipiac, or I'm changing from one college to another, and then she says, I need to talk to somebody about it.
hmm
She wanted to talk to me about
wow,
it. She said, I need to talk to somebody about it.
isn't that something?
Well, that's what TV is too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
People say they have the email, but I have a public access.
That's right.
Okay.
So it's been fantastic, and I really enjoyed you know, the chat with Glendora, and I really want to see more and more programs. You know, don't give it up. I want you to
Do you know what
keep
Andrew
going.
told me tonight, folks? That he will continue a chat with Glendora for me.
That's right. We'll keep it on. I'll stand online.
Oh, Andrew,
We'll get some time slots, and we'll keep you going.
he's a prayer answered. Thank you, Mr. Andrew Herzman.
Thank you.
Herzman, right?
That's right.
Yes.
All righty.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You take
Take
care.
care. Very good. That's great.
everybody. You want to go to the church picnic? We're having a church picnic this afternoon. The church this morning was a thrill. It's great to see people worship God. Thank God. It's just great. I got some jokes for you. Peter said, if I ever have to have a heart transplant, I want the heart of my boss. It's never been used. John says there's nothing he wouldn't do for his brother, and his brother says there's nothing I wouldn't do for John. Until they go through life doing nothing for each other. And you heard about the judge, his knowledge of the law has never been questioned. And Crozet said it's never been even mentioned. And the judge has an even disposition. He has an even disposition. It's rotten all of the time. And the secretary says, oh, the judge's mind is beginning to wander. And the clerk says, don't worry, it's 2 weeks to go very far. About the judge who kept his nose to the grindstone. And somebody said, gee, it must have been a mule when he started. Annette was asked, is your husband more assertive since he took the course in self-assertion? And Annette said, yeah, he does the wrong thing more quickly now. Got it? The town is named after me. Marblehead. And David Letterman's father was a postal carrier, right? Because his name was Letterman. And the judge was always bragging that he was a self-made man. And the Crozet said, it's good, nice of him to take the blame. Church picnic. Church picnic. Kinderhorn Reformed Church. Too late now. These are sweet, like trumpets. So you saw it. It is served. And Internet 11 and 12 are on their ways. on their way. And there'll be 49 programs. A Chat with Glendora will be on the internet. And I should have videotaped the joke that I told the postmaster and the people in line. They enjoyed it, and you would have enjoyed their laughter. Afraid of carrying a load of yo-yos, hit a reef and sunk 5 times. Here's one for you, Internet. Here's one for you, Congress. Here's a United States attorney in Nebraska thinking he has jurisdiction to defend defendants who are not in Nebraska. This equals Richard H. Stearns, a United States District Judge in Boston, dismissing Glendora's case against Boston judges when the case was not filed in Boston, it was filed in Chicago. Stay tuned, folks. This is the writing of Glendora versus Sabul, filed in the United States District Court in Nebraska. And this is how a legal paper is written. First thing you do is make a back-to-back copy of whatever is submitted to you, so that your files are not like the archives of the United States, twice as large as they have to be, costing twice as much for rental, and costing twice as much labor to locate, and murdering twice as many trees, and paying twice as much real estate tax or real estate rental. And then the next job is to sit down and refute the lies one by one. It took 30 pages so far to refute 7 pages of lies. Oh, and keep a log, folks. And do it in 15-minute. Do it in 15-minute sessions. Every 15 minutes, make an entry in your log. It's being printed, folks. It's a much smaller paper than that one. Tuesday and Wednesday, the plaintiff's appellants. Plaintiff appellant's brief, reply brief, much smaller. And a big relief. This is the file on it, and it's much smaller too. And the envelopes are all done. So it's just print, collate, staple, label, stuff, seal, and serve. Oh, you have to read it to you on TV and also on the internet. And edit it simultaneously. Folks, before I videotape this legal paper on Nebraska Omnibus 19, I have to show you the bread that my neighbor Mary Kilser made and gave me. Now this is millet and oat, I guess. And she grinds up the grains, I think, herself and starts from scratch. And then I think she adds gluten or wheat or something. But it's perfect. Of course, it's perfect in nutrition. You eat bread like this, you don't have to eat cereal. But it always comes out so beautifully. Look at it. Now, how is she so gifted? Look at that. Maybe I'd better cut into a piece of it so you can see it. Here it is. Now that is real bread.
This is the 8th lawsuit out of 9, or I should say legal papers, out of 9 that came in on August the 11th, and there's one more to do. This one is Nebraska, and let me show you, it wasn't as hard as that one yesterday. This goes to the United States District Judge, who is assigned to Glendora versus Sabol. Sabol was a bad judge in Montana and was sued for violating America. This goes to the clerk of the court, and there are only 2 envelopes. Here's one that goes to the subject of this complaint. His name is Heavycan, Heavican. What's that sound like? Sounds like a fat rear end, doesn't it? And his first leading U.S. attorney, Sally R. Johnson. And here is the paper. I'm trying to videotape and edit it at the same time. This is dated yesterday, August 18, 2004, Anno Domini, United States District Court, District of Nebraska. That's in Omaha, and it's in the 8th Circuit. And the 8th Circuit is in St. Louis. Now, this is a notice of cross motion and cross motion to dismiss and to grant, to dismiss, motion to deny, Heavycan motion to dismiss, and to grant Glendora all the relief she sought in her complaint. Well, let me just go through some of the defendants for you, because these people never will. As I told you, Richard Sabol violated the United States of America. All of these people violated the Constitution, the United States Code, the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, and of course the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag. Next group of defendants are the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia. They violated all those things, but in addition to that, when they were sued, they lied that they weren't sued, and they made believe Glendora was filing a case in the United States District Court, and there, in the District of Columbia, they made believe that, and so Glendora sued them all for lying, and that would be under the Criminal Code 18 U.S. Code, Section 1001. And here are their names. So listen well, DCTV. This tape has to go to you, and you have to play it. This would be Judge Ginsburg, Judge Santelli, Judge Henderson, Judge Randolph, Judge Rogers. Do you hear me down there in Washington, D.C.? Judge Tattle, Judge Garland, Judge Hogan, Judge Urbina, Judge Sullivan, Judge Robertson, Judge Kohler-Catelli, Judge Kennedy. United States District Court, District of Columbia. Benson Legg and Marvin J. Garbus are 2 bad judges in Baltimore, Maryland, United States District Court, and George McDermott can tell you about them. Charles R. Fulbridge III and Shelley B. Saltzman in the New Orleans Court of Appeals. Richard D. Bennett in Baltimore, also a U.S. District Judge. Now, what did these people do? First of all, they violated your Constitution, they violated your U.S. Code, and they violated the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. And Michael B. McCasey and J. Michael McMahon and a deputy clerk in the Pro Se office who writes illegibly and doesn't know enough to print her name after his signature, A.D. ... That's in Manhattan in the United States District Court. What did they do? They made believe that they weren't sued, and they made believe Glendora was filing a case in their court when she was filing a case, in fact, in Nebraska. Now, it's out and out lie, it's an out and out cheat, and they did it. And again, that's Criminal Code 1001. The Richard Lombardo, an assistant attorney general for the state of New York in White Plains. I've never known one of those people to tell the truth yet. Kenneth, strike that. Judy Arinda Evans and Luther D. Thomas at 75 Spring Street, Atlanta, Georgia, made believe that they weren't sued. In fact, Luther D. Thomas did it 3 times. So every time he did it, he got sued. Andrew J. Kleinfeld and Kathy Catterson in the Ninth Circuit in San Francisco, the same ploy. Make believe they aren't sued. Send it back. Out and out lie under 1001. Monty Bodenheimer and iPro in Lake Success, New York, their job is to be a watchdog for Medicare and check up on the doctors who charge Medicare these outrageous prices. But Monty Bodenheimer failed, and so did iPro. They didn't do the job. They let these greedy Esculapians run away with the cookies in the jar. And there's not going to be any cookies left in the jar when you get my age, folks. William H. Barbour in Jackson, Mississippi, a dishonest United States District Judge. Thomas J. Dolan in the Supreme Court County of Dutchess, Poughkeepsie, New York, and his law clerk of June 1003. They completely failed. They did not follow the CPLR. They broke the law, and furthermore, they did not give justice. William W. Wilkins, Patricia S. Connor, Deborah S. Daniel. This is the conclave in the United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit in Richmond, Virginia. Perpetual lawbreakers in the courts. Oh, judges don't lie. Oh, they don't cheat. Oh, clerks don't cheat. I don't know anybody who does it more. And lastly, a magistrate in Bangor, Maine, Margaret J. Kravchuk, who violated in broad daylight Title 28 U.S. Code Section 636, which says that a magistrate has to have the litigant's signature in writing, has to have it in writing in order to touch a paper. And I don't think I made that very clear. I filed a complaint in the United States District Court in Bangor, Maine. I did not sign a paper that a magistrate could handle my case or touch my case in any way, and that is a law. That paper has to be signed by me saying, okay, a magistrate can touch my paper. Here's false statement and documents, and this is Criminal Code, U.S. Code, Title 18, Section 1001. Whoever, in any matter within the jurisdiction of any government or of any department or agency of the United States knowingly and willfully falsifies, conceals, or covers up by any trick, scheme, or device a material fact, or makes any false, fictitious, or fraudulent statements or representations shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 5 years or both. And all these people I sued, all these judges and all these clerks should be fined and imprisoned for their misrepresentations. Now all defendants are outside the District of Nebraska, and heavy can motion is illegal. You can tell me how. This is my notice of motion, notice of cross motion, and cross motion to deny Heavy Can's motion to dismiss and to grant all the relief in my complaint. Now, this paper is written by the U.S. Attorney in Nebraska, and he's defending all of the defendants I just read to you who are not in Nebraska. Now, is this a fraud or isn't it? Of course it is. This is a U.S. attorney misrepresenting all of these defendants who do not live in Nebraska. He has no jurisdiction over this, but he thinks he's going to get away with it. So his paper is a nullity, folks. And worst of all these, it is a fraud, and what he has done is actionable. He can be sued. Put him on the who to sue list. Hevacan has no standing to move to dismiss, pursuant to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 12B. And against all named defendants, well, Hevacan never named the defendants. How do you like that for a legal paper? He says Glendora versus Sabul et al. And then he says down at the bottom, all named defendants, and he didn't name the defendants. Well, that's wrong. His first paper, out, must name all parties. So from the beginning, the fight we are winning. It is Hevacan who has no jurisdiction. The United States District Court in Nebraska has jurisdiction on federal questions and on diversity of citizenship. He says that I did not give the United States District Court in Nebraska jurisdiction. Well, I did. It's a federal question, civil rights, and it's diversity of citizenship. You saw that. I just read you the whole list. Where are they? Baltimore, Bangor, Washington, D.C. Hevacan does not declare under penalty of perjury he is telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help him God, he is not. Herein, Glendora asseverates that she is. So Hevacan is out. And now I go through all of his ridiculous statements and lies, and I refute every one of them. And it was wearisome, folks, because every phrase was a lie. You know, if you cut out a paragraph and refute the whole paragraph, things move a little faster. But if you cut out sentences that are lies, and things move a little faster. But when you have to cut out phrases, now this belongs in the caption and not in a footnote. He lists all of the defendants down here in a footnote, or she does. Sally Johnson is his ghostwriter. Not one of these defendants has appeared. Everyone has failed to defend. Glendora should have been awarded judgment by default, pursuant to Rule 55, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. And you cannot defend them. You have no jurisdiction to defend them, and your paper is a nullity. Now, each defendant was served, pursuant to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 4D. It is there to be used. Further, each was served by the summons signed by the court clerk. And Hevacan is saying the court's summons are no good. Now, we go on to Hevacan's page 2, where he says the extent that the allegation of the plaintiff's complaint are decipherable. I say that's ad hominem. And if you have an ounce of intelligence or any acumen, you can certainly decipher them. And I say that that was poor taste for him to say that. And I say it's regrettable that the U.S. attorney, who has no jurisdiction to defraud, cannot read and comprehend. It is clear that the court is without jurisdiction in this matter, and Glendora says no, it is not. And this is his lie number 10, and the proof that the defendant's law-breaking is in the papers by their own hand. Who said that I did not state a claim upon which relief could be granted. Let me ask you this. A judge defying the Constitution of the United States is not a claim upon which relief can be granted. A judge lying and cheating under 1001 that I read you is not a claim upon which relief can be granted. And everything that Hevacan has written so far, or his ghostwriter Johnson has written, is conclusory. Yes, indeed, federal judges violating our U.S. Constitution and the U.S. Code is bizarre. He says my claims are bizarre. I say yes, they are. It is bizarre that a United States judge who takes an oath should violate the Constitution of the United States. And he doesn't take an oath. He should violate the Constitution of the United States. Is it not bizarre that a United States judge should violate the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure? Is it not bizarre that a United States judge should violate the United States Code? And he says, Havikan, that is confusing. Well, I'm sorry that he doesn't have the acumen to keep things straight. Glendora moved for informer pauperous. Her service would have been done by the U.S. Marshal, but this court kept boomeranging her complaint until she had to take food money to buy the $150 filing fee. And then this court stopped boomeranging the complaint when Glendora sued the chief judge, the chief clerk, and the anonymous clerk, deputy, who said she did not like the color construction paper that Glendora used to separate the complaints about each defendant and one from another. Now then this court lost the $150 money order. This isn't bad enough what I just related to you. Then I sent them a $150 money order and they lose it. They lose it for 2 months. And Glendora went without food to buy. And finally they located it. Now Havikan can defend these Nebraska court defendants in the U.S. District Court where they are sued and where they are defendants, but he cannot defend the defendants in this lawsuit, Glendora versus Sabol, because there are no Nebraska defendants in it. Now everything you read here is being read on TV. Voila! Glendora is on 45 TV stations, equals 450 municipalities. Additionally, her TV program is on the internet, and the whole wide world is finding out what is going on in U.S. courts.
They're going this way. And then you fill in,
Terry,
the arrow goes this way.
how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Now, why are you here? What's going on?
Well, I signed in, and I'm number 3.
What time did you get here?
I got here at 11:30 in the morning.
That's correct.
I should have been number 1. I was here at 8 o'clock dropping off a tape, but I didn't know 3 hours later Terry would be here. And you're number what?
3.
3. Oh, boy. And why are you still here now? Just to mingle and be among the crowd?
I signed up as the show.
I was talking.
Good. Very good. What?
Front camera.
Yay. Yeah, this is the public access sign up August 9th, but it's supposed to be August 10th. It's 9 a.m. in the morning.
We're here
Over
exactly
12 hours.
12 hours in advance.
Over 12 hours from
Online.
now. Yes.
I am number 53. I just signed up as CarolBot or substitute if CarolBot falls asleep for the show. And there's I'm showing you my cardboard plaque right here. You can't see it.
Okay, I'll get a look at it. Here's my chair. You may remember that chair from the last sign up. I think I was number 34 then, and I had signed up. I came down at 4 in the morning or something. Huh?
And nobody stole it.
And nobody stole it. And what number are you? This is
gonna be 54.
55.
Dr. Carol Goldberg.
55.
Hey, 55. So I'm going to be 57? I'll be 57. All right.
So, did you bring that to sleep on? Is that why it's big enough?
I offered him my blanket.
So if you want a public access program, this is what you have to do. Requires great dedication. I remember you. How are you doing? Good. All right. Good to see you again.
They're saying
Yeah, the sun is not even down the night before the sign-up. The sign-up starts officially at 9 a.m. and we're here over 12 hours in advance. This has really gotten to be kind of kooky. But the chairs, very nice collection of chairs. Chairs of all kinds are here. And the people have gone home and they'll come back in the morning, and there's a man from Cablevision taking the name, so we won't have to stay. Thank God. I'll get some rest tonight and come back in the morning. Stay tuned. Want to say hello? What is your name? And what show are you at? Gospel Workshop. What number are you online? What time you get here? 5:30 p.m.
Yeah.
You're 45?
You are?
I'll be 57, so 5:30, it's now in 3 hours, 12 additional people. I think the word is getting out to other people too. There'll be a lot of people coming down tonight.
Brian,
Thank you very much. Yes, Carol. No, we...
what I just did was sign up. You saw as Carol, I told you Carol
Yes.
Bot, and then I wrote the name of the show is The Show.
Good name.
Or a better name if we can think of one by 8 a.m. So whoever shows up, we have a substitute with a different name, and they can zip right in saying, I'm Carol Bot Substitute, and we're changing the name to
Wonderful.
Democracy Now, or whatever you guys want to make it.
Yes, the Deadbeat Club, maybe.
Deadbeat Club.
I'm gonna put one out.
Who are you?
Who am I?
You Carol Galgano? No. Oh, Mrs. Galgano. Mrs. Galgano. Brian O'Hare.
Oh, Brian.
It's which Galgano? Lori.
Yes.
Lori.
I didn't bring them. I figure I'll
I
come
got some
back
papers in
later
the car.
on.
Yeah, oh, we don't have to submit papers now.
No, I'm coming back.
Hello there.
I want to put my, what is it? Are you the last one? Do me a favor. I'm going to put my chair.
Did the Goldbergs come down, Carol?
No,
We need number 57.
I am here. Thank you, sir.
All right, sir.
May I ask you your name, if you would?
My name is Richard.
And you're here with Cablevision
Yes,
administering our public access line up here?
That's correct.
This is great. I'm glad to see you. Because,
Your name, name of the show.
Great. Thank you. Hey, I'm going to put my name right here. Let's see if this...
Taking names and no prisoners.
Yeah, let me make this so people can see.
That's enough.
Hey, oh my God, it's Terry.
Military, okay.
How you doing? What number are you? You got a show. You're getting a show. I'm number 57.
You're 57? You're 2 years old.
Hey, Rich, can you hold this? I'm going to document that I'm signing this and everything. It's going to be like this TV.
Boy, he wants all kinds of proof this
Brian.
You work for the post office. Why do you have to be so precise, Brian?
Name of the show.
Show for
What's the name of your show?
Show for the Workers.
Show for the Workers, right.
And now I can go home and come back in the morning. 8 a.m.
You want to sign for me too?
This gentleman's
I can't
next.
sign, right, Karen? What?
So we're number
Yo,
I'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m.
what's the deal?
This is beautiful. Great to see you.
You're breaking up the joint here.
I'm not breaking up nothing. A new addition to the public access family.
Did you tell me to come here?
I don't know, did I?
No, you didn't. Why didn't you tell me?
I mentioned it to people, but how did you hear about it?
Why don't you go in there and get the paper? Give it to me.
Well,
Give it to me.
I
I'll hand
watched
it.
It's public
I watched
knowledge.
all the shows.
Yeah, I've mentioned it on the air, right? Other people have mentioned it.
Yes, I think you mentioned it.
Yeah, those are lovely
Diane
earrings, I
Bennett's
have to say.
area of
Thank you.
And are you getting a show?
We're just trying to keep
No,
the
no
the
show
line
for
in
you. Get a
order.
show. Come on, get a show. Get a little show.
When they call you, when they call number 58, you're 58. When they call 58,
Okay,
they're
so
going
you
to
know what? I have to call you back because I'm at
Carol, you're my hero.
They just told me.
Really, you did it, kiddo. Really good. Thank you.
Which is really good.
These are the.
Hand them in.
But he's allowed to
If
take
you're
my
number
paper.
59, you're together. So you're 59. Sign up as number 59. Then give him the paper.
And
I was going to put my
This is just. Yeah. Oh, you can sleep. Well, we don't have to sleep here. Yeah.
I just want to leave one thing before I go.
Okay. No, I'm only kidding. I don't have a show. I have a show for the workers, but I'm interested. Voice is a piece.
Yeah, I can't tell you more about it.
You can tell me more about it?
I don't know more about it.
I'm going to watch the show.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Carol, you taking off?
Well, this is a lion, and this was in my chair, and this was in Nicole's chair. Yeah.
What's the name of your show?
LIMC TV, Long Island Music Coalition.
And what's your show?
Same one. We're
Same
here
thing?
together.
And are you going to have 2 different time slots?
Just one time slot.
Oh, yeah? And you're taking the bunny home and that's it? Coming back in the morning?
I don't want to leave them out in the wilderness all night. They pretty much want us to leave.
Yes.
So.
All right. What do you think of this whole sign-up process?
I like it.
You like that they're taking the names and you can go home and go to bed?
Yeah, because people are going to come here early and sign up no matter what.
Yep.
So, I mean, the only thing is that I think it's going to encourage people to come even earlier.
I was here 8 o'clock this morning dropping off a tape. I could have dropped my chair off and been number 1.
You should have.
Somebody
well, the
came
next
at
person
11.
Came at 9.
I know,
But
so...
supposedly that first person has not been back since they dropped their chair off. Yeah. And I honestly think personally that they should have taken the names, but of the people that were still here waiting, not of the people that dropped their chair off and left. Because those people, because we could have, I'm sick, I could have done that myself.
Well,
You know, we had other people lined up to come, and we figured we'd leave the line for like 3 hours, 2 hours maybe, to get something to eat.
right.
And then we'd have people come and take it. But whatever, I'm glad that I get to go home and sleep.
Yes. All right. You've been here a long time. We'll let you go.
What's your show?
I'm Show for the Workers.
Show for the
Brian O'Hare, Show for the Workers.
Thank you.
Mail service. No nail-in mail. It was put into the door latch. She made this point on March the 23rd, the first appearance, and when Kleinbaum whined personal affidavit by Mike McDowell, Chatham cop, Glendora said she wanted a Travis hearing. She made this point in her opening statement, page of 20 paper of 20 pages for the second appearance, March 30th. She made this point in the third appearance, April the 13th. You know all that. She made this point in her notice of appeal with attachment. She made this point in her civil rights complaint, Glendora versus Bully Dixon, in the United States District Court in Chicago. Now this is 6 times. And Kleinbaum, page 2, point 18, Glendora says, did not render the decision in the summary proceeding under the RPAPL, that's the New York State Real Property Actions and Proceedings Law. This is an indispensable reference in this case. Just a word about the New York State. You had, first of all, for years, naturally, you had the New York State Real Property Law, relations between landlords and tenants. But it wasn't clear how a summary proceeding should be served. It wasn't clear how many days. It wasn't clear how it had to be served. And so the legislature wrote a new law. They didn't dump the old one, but they wrote a new law called the New York State Real Property Actions and Proceedings Law. How do you bring an action against a landlord? What is the proceeding against a landlord? And it's precise, and it has to be strictly construed. And I've never known a lawyer yet to get it right, nor a judge, except for Judy Studebaker, who is a lawyer for poor indigent tenants for Westchester Putnam Legal Services. She gets it right. But I've encountered maybe 10 lawyers on these cases. Not one of them has ever got it straight in his head. And Glendora says the Real Property Actions and Proceedings Law is indisputable. And it's indisputable that Kleinbaum Natalia did not give Dixon jurisdiction over Glendora. Says Kleinbaum, the respondent petitioner would note that the issue of lack of jurisdiction is first raised on appeal, and that the appellant